What is the last show that's recorded on my DVR? I think the last one that's at the very top of my list is Paranormal Lockdown. The last one I watched, I believe it was called The Monroe House. That one was really good. It ended up being like lots of evidence where they had the police involved at one point too. So if you haven't seen that one, watch that one. It was very good. Do I love or hate roller coasters? I love roller coasters. There's not a roller coaster that I have not gone on before. I will always say yes to roller coasters. I have yet to say no to a roller coaster. What was my favorite school subject? I would say from middle school until the end of my freshman year, I'd probably say it's science. I was always in advanced science. I liked science. I found it interesting. Then when I got to be a sophomore, I started getting more involved in getting my FCC license to do radio shows and working for the local film station. So I had two radio shows. One I did with my guy friend, and then I also did one in the morning with two other friends of mine. One of them was, the morning one was kind of more of like an alternative rock metal kind of show thing, and the other one at night was way more like metal-y-esque type shows. We also did lots of filming for the city channels because it was through the school, so there was really limited stuff as far as filming of what we could do. We had individual filming projects that we were able to do and turn into the teacher, which were allowing us to be more creative, but for the most part, we did a lot of training with video cameras and switchboards and things like that. Now, if you put me in front of a switchboard today, I don't know if I'd remember everything. It would probably take a while for things to come back to me, but as far as editing and things, yeah, I think for the most part, I still kind of remember that. This YouTube thing's kind of helping me get back into that kind of stuff. Who was my favorite teacher in school? And I would have to say her name was Mrs. Tim. She was one of the first teachers that actually really believed in me. I had teachers previously who turned my desk backwards in the classroom and put me in a corner and gave me a coloring book and said she's not capable of learning. And then my mother found this out. I don't remember how she found this out, like if I just happened to say, oh, look at the picture I colored today or what, but she ended up finding out that this is what they had said and talked to the principal, and the principal did nothing. So my mom took me and we moved. This is when it was just her and I. We moved and went to an entirely different city with a different school district. I think she was way more pickier, and I think she looked at the bigger ratings and did school tours before she decided where I was going to go. And then I ended up going to public school for then, and then from 6th grade until 11th grade, I was in private school. Then 11th grade and 12th grade, I was back in public school. We always moved around a lot. We moved at least every 5 years. The longest place that I've ever lived is kind of where I'm at now. The next question is, if I had a warning label, what would it be? Yeah. I try to be cautious now that I have a nephew, so I'm not as vulgar as I used to be. But for the most part, like if it's just me out with my friends and stuff, I swear a lot. Like that is my thing. I'm very matter of fact. I tell you sometimes what you don't want to hear. I'm very honest, I'm very blunt, and I swear a lot. Those are my warning labels. How are you when you first meet people? I think I come off as kind of snooty or bitchy, or like I have a resting bitch face is what they call it. And I'm not that way. I really like to observe how people are, because sometimes if I don't take it all in, I'll just, try to be buddy-buddy with somebody that I would normally clash with, and then that could end up being like where I offend somebody, and then it turns into like a verbal argument where that's not how I am. I'm more of a laid back person. I come off as very, very shy until I get to know you, and then I'm really off the wall, goofy, and I don't hold us back as much, and yeah. So, yeah. When I first get to meet people, I'm usually very shy. I seem standoffish. I might seem like I've got a resting bitch face, but I don't. I'm always happy to get to meet new people, but for the most part, that's what I feel like I give off. I try not to, but I feel like after a little bit, like maybe after an hour or half hour, whatever, I start to relax a little bit more, because my whole life I've been around people judging me constantly, so I kind of get all like my pantyhose in a bunch. But for the most part, after an hour, I kind of like, what would you say, like meld into the scenery, like I've known you for a while. Then usually people like me, but at first I think people just don't know what to think about me. But oh well. Am I ticklish? Not really. Like, I have sensitive areas, but I'm not really ticklish. My shoe size is 8.5. If I have to go up a whole size, then I'm a 9. Was I named after anyone? Yes, I was named after my father. His name was Michael, so my mother named me Michelle. I also was supposed to be... My mom had a couple names picked out, and I think the one that she decided on was originally Leslie, and then I came out and she saw me, and my grandmother was in the delivery room at the time with my mom, and she was like, she does not look like a Leslie, so we're not going to call her Leslie. And then they thought of new names, and they decided that my grandma decided that she really liked that name, so my mom thought it was fitting at the time because of my dad, so they named me Michelle. Have I ever ridden a horse? Yes, I've gotten equestrian awards before for riding. I used to compete in different competitions when I was in middle school, and it was a lot of fun, and I miss my horse. But now, I don't know. I probably wouldn't compete now. Hot or cold beverage? I'm a cold beverage person all of the way. I like my Starbucks. I will get it every now and again, but the hot beverages kind of makes my mouth feel dry, and if I could drink iced tea, fresh brewed iced tea that I make with lemon and lots of ice all day, every day. Am I creative, and what are my hobbies? Oh my god, for a minute I thought it wasn't recording. Oh my god, that would be bad. Okay, so am I creative, and what are my hobbies? I think, I don't know if some of these I would consider hobbies, but I guess YouTube is now one of them. I enjoy teaching people about dog stuff. If you guys want to know certain dog things, I'd be more than happy to do videos on that, so let me know below if anything in this Q&A gave you an idea for something that you would like to see from me in a video. That would be great, because I kind of think this is a new channel. I don't know where it's going. I would like to do vlogs, but my life isn't that exciting. So as far as hobbies and creativity, I think I would pretty much just say basic crafts and decorating the house and baking, people food and dog treats. Also, I kind of do that dog treat thing on the side too for local people or friends who have dogs and things. I studied up a lot on dog nutrition because I was interested at one point in getting a job at a store locally who's a local store who does that kind of stuff. And I just thought it would be beneficial now that my dog is getting older to kind of see what foods might benefit her and things. So I guess dogs are my hobbies, walking my dogs, training my dog, and my roommate has a leader dog, so I like training her dog. I've trained her dogs to do basic doggy kind of tricks. Yeah, other than that, just like basic crafty craft stuff. Like when Christmas came around, I pretty much did my own decorations. I didn't buy anything. I handmade all of my decorations. The next question is, what is the stupidest thing I've ever done? And that was staying in a relationship that was very mentally abusive and emotionally abusive. And I trusted this person. I thought that they loved me, and I thought that they were a good friend at the time because we were friends before we started dating. And yeah, it wasn't right. It didn't end good. It left me emotionally feeling like I was just worthless. So no one needs to be in that position, and it took me a long time to kind of feel okay about who I was again, and that was the person that had, a lot of issues, and they had to make me feel this bad so that they could feel that great. So yeah, that's probably the stupidest thing I ever did, was allowing myself to be in that kind of situation and to tolerate feeling that bad about myself, or allowing somebody else to make me feel that bad about myself. If a genie were to grant me a wish other than world peace, what would I wish for? I have so many wishes. I don't know where to begin. I think one of the biggest ones would be that I could find, if I could find a loophole where I could just say that every homeless dog that's in a bad situation or homeless would have a loving, caring home, I would definitely do that for sure. And that includes the pit bulls, regardless of what people say. That's just a stereotype. And if you're a really lenient person, like you baby the crap out of your dog, you spoil your dog, you probably should not have a pit bull, because they need that kind of structure. They need lots of exercise, and I feel like they are a great breed, and I feel like they are, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just, I can't think of the word. They're just underappreciated as a breed. I think they're very sweet, and in the wrong hands, yes, things can go the wrong way. So that's just my opinion. I grew up around a Doberman, and a lot of people have stereotypes about that, and he was the sweetest, most gentle dog ever, and I loved him more than anything, and he was my protector since birth, where he slept pretty much in the floor next to my crib every night. So say what you want about the breeds, say what you want, but totally all in the owner. That's about it. Thanks for joining me. If you have any more questions for another Q&A than I do, put them below. I will write them down, and let me know what you want to see from my future videos. I'm going to eventually here soon come up with a upload schedule, and I'm thinking possibly twice a week. I would like to do more, but I want to start with twice a week and see how that goes. I'm going to be recording a lot more frequently in the new year. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Leave questions down below. Let's talk, answer some of the questions that I answered, and I hope we could get to know each other better and be friends, and I'll see you later. Bye. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this getting to know me moment, be sure to hit the bell so you'll be notified of every future video that I make. And thanks again for watching.